Hello everyone. Welcome back. We are doing another research video, and today we're going to do it on jewelry that is valuable from Denmark. So a lot of Denmark pieces came up in my recent research video I did on mid-century modern jewelry, and I thought it would be neat just to do a video on Denmark jewelry. So that's what we're going to do. And there are a couple of names that are definitely at the top and are dominating the top. So what I'm going to try and do is just show you like 2 or 3 max from each person or designer so that you can learn some other names and maker's marks to keep an eye out for when you are outsourcing. The majority of this jewelry is going to be sterling silver. There is some that is not though, and these sell for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So definitely ones you want to know to keep an eye out for. And if you're a collector, maybe some that you might want to add to your collection. So let's go ahead, take a look. We're going to look at the top 25, my picks of Denmark jewelry that have sold on eBay in the last 90 days. First up is actually not a Denmark, but it's their neighbor. This one is Norwegian, and there's not enough Norwegian jewelry to do a Norwegian video, and I thought this piece was pretty cool, so I thought I would share it with you. This is a rare Jacob Tostrup Norwegian sterling and enamel modernist extra large brooch from the 1930s, and this one sold for $325. Really beautiful sterling and blue enamel. You can see they show it there on a coat, and beautiful piece of jewelry. Here you can see the signature is JT, which is Jacob Tostrup, sterling and Norway. So always look up when you find marked pieces. And this one's very clean and looks to be in excellent condition, and a wonderful sale at $325. Next up is an NE from Denmark, sterling silver and cherry amber bracelet. This does say estate and vintage. This one sold for a best offer on $329. And we'll take a look at it here. Beautiful flowers with that cherry amber. Really, really nice link bracelet, and looks to be in great condition. And here you can see the marking. We'll look a little closer. So you can see it says Sterling Denmark NE from, and beautiful, beautiful bracelet. And this one was an amazing sale. Most likely it sold for over that $300 point. Next up is a super cute piece. This is a vintage rare sterling Ella Denmark 925 hummingbird brooch. This is another orange enamel. So watch for enamel. I do see enamel quite a bit on Denmark pieces. This one does say green eye. This one sold for $350. And here you can see that hummingbird. And this is not that big of a piece, and it's actually hard to read the mark there on it. Unfortunately, it's very out of focus, so I can't show you it, but great sale at $350. Next is another gorgeous vintage NE from. I think NE from is actually the artist. I was thinking like from Denmark, but I think that's the artist's name. So this is a sterling silver necklace. It sold for $349. Looks to be a jasper stone there. And we'll take a look here a little bit closer. Really, really clean, pretty necklace. And this one, I can read the NE from and Denmark, but not super clear there. And a great sale at $349. Next up is a Jens Asby Denmark vintage modernist sterling silver torque heavy choker necklace. This one sold for $381.03. This one was sold from the UK. And here we'll take a look at it. Very simplistic necklace. And hopefully we'll be able to see that signature. I can see the Denmark there pretty clearly. And let's see, it says handmade Denmark 925. I don't see the Jens Asby sign. Maybe that's her maker's mark there. That's very, very possible. Beautiful, beautiful necklace, 51 grams and an amazing sale at $381. Next up is a name you definitely need to know, and two names. One is Eric Blom and the other is David Anderson. This is a sterling silver pendant necklace. It does say Norway, so this is another one right next door. This one sold for $375. And here you can see this one definitely could use some polishing. Most pieces I find I do not polish, so I would leave it just like this seller did. Here you can see this is very, very clearly marked with David Anderson, Norway, and sterling. So not only Denmark, but also keep an eye out for Norway pieces. Next up is a set of vintage sterling cufflinks. These have mink on them. It does say they were made in Denmark by Axel Holm. This set of cufflinks sold for almost $400, $395. And here you can see the Copenhagen silver box and the mink on them. And here you can see the Axel Holm signature there, as well as the 925 sterling, and pretty simplistic cufflinks and an amazing sale at close to $400. Next up is a really cool piece. This is a vintage retro sterling silver modernist pendant. It does say Denmark, Danish, SIK, S-I-K, 925. This one sold for $395 for a pendant, which is amazing. This looks to be pretty thick sterling, though, and a pretty significant pendant. So there you can see the 925 SIK, which is a Denmark maker, and an amazing sale at almost $400. Next up is LAA sterling 925 troll beads. So I saw troll beads a lot. I'm not sure specifically what they are. If one of you knows, let us know down in the comments. Maybe it's just charms, like the Pandora beads. This says flower clasp with 15 charms. This bracelet sold for $400. And here you can see the different charms and the slides. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. And this did come up when I searched for Denmark jewelry. It is a Jacob Hull Denmark pink quartz amethyst choker. It does say rare mid-century modern in the box and that it is signed. This one also sold for $400. And here you can see, I don't think this one is precious metal. And really, really neat choker. And that pendant is as big as a choker. Unfortunately, they don't show us that signature up close on this one, so I'm unable to share, but definitely remember this look. Next up is a mid-century Nud V. Anderson silver brutalist cuff for Anton Michelson. So this one sold US for $429.53. Really, really neat piece here. So here you can see the Denmark, you can see the AM for Anton Michelson, and you can also see the KBA, which is the Nud V. Anderson. So this one would be very, very easy to identify. Definitely different looking and some more names and markings to look out for. Next up, this one is really different. This is an Erik Magnusson Denmark sterling. Again, silver and enamel, my friends. Number 219, head in hand. It does say as is, and their note says there's a break in the thin piece of silver that forms the upper right edge of the hand. So this one's still as is, sold for $499. And here you can see right here is where that break is, right to the right of that face, and very, very easy to read, the Erik Magnusson sterling made in Denmark, and an amazing, amazing sale at just shy of $500. Here is another name for you to keep an eye out for, and that is Bernard Hertz. So this is a Bernard Hertz Denmark Arts and Crafts Silver 830 Moonstone brooch. This one sold for $495. This one looks quite a bit different from the others that we have seen. And here you can see the moonstone, beautiful, beautiful piece. And it's got the 3 smaller as well as the 1 larger. And there is that signature there on the back of it. And we'll see if we can zoom in. You can see the BH, you can see the dragonfly as well as the 830. So I love that maker's mark because I love dragonflies. So remember that dragonfly, remember BH, and an amazing sale just shy of 500. Next up is Charles Jerome sterling silver dragon brooches. It does say extraordinary matched pair. And the set of these sold for $495. The seller is the Silver Museum, which is interesting. So here you can see very clearly marked Charles Jerome Sterling. I think it's really cool that they kept these 2 together because they are a set, and it looks like they have emerald and ruby, which is pretty neat. Gorgeous, gorgeous dragonfly. Gorgeous dragon. I always tell you guys, keep an eye out for dragons because there are a lot of dragon pieces that are valuable, and this set sold for almost 500. Another very different looking brooch. This is an F. Slage, Denmark, Copenhagen, 1893 to 1937, Skonverke brooch. Sold for a best offer on $550. And here you can see it almost looks like amber in here, like a butterscotch amber. This one is just over 2 inches. And here is that marking, the FS for F. Slage, as well as that 830. And really, really neat brooch. I think I probably would have put statement on this. I do feel like this is a statement brooch, and an amazing sale, best offer on $550. Here is another really, really different one. This is a vintage 1960s fringe necklace. It does say S. Christian of Copenhagen. And this one I don't believe is precious metal. And this one sold for $575. Definitely different looking here. Look at that fringe, different colors. Really, really cool piece. And I don't think this is precious metals. Here you can see the S. Christian of Copenhagen. And that, I think, is the only way this necklace was identified, was from the box, and a great sale at $575. Next is some shell cufflinks. These are Franz Hingelberg, sterling silver, Denmark. They actually misspelled cufflinks, which is interesting, and they still sold for almost $600. So only a few pictures here as well. I do want to zoom in here where I can make that big for you. You can see that FH, which is Franz Hingelberg. So identified by that, and great sale. Even with misspelling in the title, they still sold for right at $600. Next up is a Boy Johansson modern sterling silver pendant. It does say it has a brushed finish. This one sold for $680. And this one's really, really neat looking with the square and the circles. Very simplistic, mid-century modern. You can see the 925 there, as well as it looks, I think it's, I can't read that. S-I-N-T. I cannot read it. Cannot read that signature, unfortunately, but a great sale at close to $700. Next up is a vintage Hans Hansen modernist Denmark sterling silver dangle necklace. This one sold for $695. I love the way those dangles sit. I almost wonder if they are fixed. I would have to think they are. They would squish together. But very simplistic necklace. And I do want to show you here on the back of each of those dangles, you can see the Denmark and 381 mark. So that is how it is identified. And here on another dangle, you can see the Hans Hansen Denmark signature. So the dangles are marked and would be able to be identified. And this was a great sale, just shy of $700. Next up, we've got some more sterling silver and amber. This is a Niels Erik Denmark sterling silver Baltic amber necklace, earrings, and brooch set. And this set sold for $719. And really, really excellent condition. Beautiful Baltic amber. Here you can see the sterling Denmark NE from. So that makes me wonder if the NE from is Niels Erik. I think we are learning this. I didn't realize that on the other pieces, but so it's Niels Erik from Denmark, I believe. Interesting. So great, great set and wonderful sale at $720. We are now up to our top 5, and these names were all over the top, but I've handpicked a few pieces to show you. So this is a stunning Gerda Lingard Moni's chunky necklace gold foil bead strand. This necklace sold for $850. And I bet most of you, if you saw this, would have no idea it was worth that much. So that is why I wanted to show it to you. And here is the Moni's on the back. So if you find anything with Moni's on it, it is probably going to be pretty valuable. Number 4 is a Bent Knudsen mid-century modern solid sterling silver petal cuff bracelet. This one was an auction, but it only got one bid. And this is actually the only auction we have seen thus far. This one sold for $850. Really cool linked petals. It looks like they are articulated, which is neat. And here you can see the sterling. It's hard to read that one. Hard to read it. I see the bent, I believe. And amazing, amazing sale at $850. Number 3 is another Moni's. This is a Moni's amethyst, crystal, and ebony leather multi-strand necklace. Totally different look from the gold one you just saw. And this one sold for almost $2,000. Absolutely incredible piece. I believe these are used on the runway quite a bit. And if you know any more information about Moni's, definitely tell us. There is that Moni's signature on this one, and an amazing, amazing sale, just shy of $2,000. Next up is a Nana Ditzel bracelet by George Jensen. So George Jensen probably dominated 80% of the top. And I've definitely told you guys his name before, but I wanted to throw a couple pieces in here. This one sold for $2,071. I don't think they're showing the signature on this one, unfortunately, but George Jensen is clearly marked, and this was an amazing sale at over $2,000. Number 1 is another Moni's. This is a citrine, another leather necklace, but this one sold for almost $3,500. Please remember the name Moni's. Remember the name George Jensen. Those are definitely your top 2 Denmark sellers. And here you can see that Moni's again, very, very clearly marked, and an amazing, amazing sale, $3,500. And this does not even have precious metal. All right, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed making it. Some really, really neat Denmark jewelry pieces to add to your knowledge base and keep an eye out for. And if you're a collector, let us know if you have any of these names or designers in your collection. I really do appreciate you watching. Don't forget, hit the thumbs up, share with your friends if you think they'd like it, and I will see you on the next one.